In the mixed world of various martial arts works, the martial arts of the characters are adjusted compared to the original works. After all, mixed in a world, the martial arts of the characters naturally fluctuate up and down. National power: Great Yan Dynasty. A Han Dynasty similar to the Ming Dynasty, mixed with other dynasties, dominated by Han people, with law enforcement agencies such as Dongchang Zikang, Shenhou Mansion, Lai Ushanman, Jin Yiwei, and Halong Villa. Great Hu Dynasty. Dian Dynasty. The Northern Dynasty, the United Dynasty of Nomads, the mixed dynasties of the Huns, Dakin, Mongolia, and other countries, have fought against Dian year after year. Dali, Tubo, Xixia and other countries. A small kingdom that survives between Dayan and Dahu. Sky Prison. As of now, because this is a world of martial arts, various masters emerge in an endless stream. In order to better punish those martial arts high-powered prisoners, the Great Yan Dynasty spent a lot of money to find countless skilled craftsmen to build a prison. This is the Sky Prison. Sky Prison, which means the world's first prison, as long as prisoners have martial arts, regardless of their origin, they are detained here. The prison is divided into several levels according to the strength of the prisoners, and prisoners of different strengths are locked in different levels of prisons. Is divided into 4 levels, A, B, C, D. Each level is divided into 9 grades. 9 gears are the highest, and the first gear is the lowest. The prison is divided into surface and underground. Bing Ding 2 areas, both on the ground, surrounded by a circle. The outermost is Ding Yi, and Ding Er to Dingju is inward. Inside Dingju, there is Zone C, and Zone C and 9, and Zones A and B are no longer on the ground, but underground. In terms of management, Jin Yiwei, 6 doors, and the second factory in the east and west are coordinated to manage each other. Jin Yiwei. As of now, Jin Yiwei was originally a very powerful legal institution, but time has passed. The protagonist was not considered a top power in North Korea during the period when the protagonist was. It was a semi-cooperative and semi-owned state with the East Factory, and the relationship with the West Factory was not very good, because the East Factory and the West Factory were in a competitive and hostile relationship. Jin Yiwei has 4 commanders: Qinglong, Beihu, Suzaku, and Suanwu. Qinglong and Beihu are all masters of Cao Shaokin's grade, and Zuk Suanwu is slightly weaker. East Factory, West Factory, the secret service agencies dedicated to the Emperor's orders, competing against each other. The cultivation system is similar to the mixed cultivation system of martial arts and fantasy cultivation. Condense the qi state to condense the inner qi to find the qi sensation, and slowly warm up. The external air is released inside the air and the internal air is condensed to the stage where it can be released outside. Improve the quality of internal qi and turn it into a qi. Condense the real state to refine the gang to further improve the quality. Integrate one's soul into the qi, and form a true qi with one's own primordial spirit, like an arm derivan. Do whatever you want. Let the spirit and spirit initially merge. Shenhai realm expands the Danshan capacity and fills the Qi Si with Zhen Qi. Huadan realm gathers the soul of a martial artist, and the inner breath condenses a martial arts inner pill. The golden pill of the Yuan-Tier realm turns into the Yuan-Ti. Let the Yuan-Ti grow and polish it to perfection. The divine body realm, the original fetus and itself merge into a divine body. The body and the original fetus are merged, and the spirit, energy, and spirit are united. From then on, the original spirit, the flesh, and the inner qi, regardless of each other, are integrated into zero. The power of the spirit, the power of the body, the power of inner energy, fully integrated. The supernatural power realm condenses supernatural powers on the divine body. The celestial image realm's magical powers are perfectly integrated with each other, and the body can be transformed into natural disasters. Martial arts level. As of now, the martial arts are divided into 4 grades: heavenly ranks, ground ranks, human ranks, and basics. In addition to basic martial arts, the other 3 grades are divided into 4 grades. Excellent, top grade, middle grade, low grade. Is divided into several grades according to the proficiency of martial arts. First glimpse of the doorway slightly Xiaocheng integrate reach the top back to basics Zhen Shao ancient and modern practicing a martial arts to a high level can increase his damage, reduce his consumption, and awaken some special abilities. Items include weapons such as swords, guns, swords, and halberds, as well as various rare and exotic animals, and items with different functions. Such as sacred wood king tripod, rosary beads, blood bodhi, evil emperor relics, and celebrities. Such as the phoenix in the wind and cloud, the dragon, the fire unicorn, the statue in the sculptor hero, the crane in the crane and the needle, the blood snake in Liang Ziweng, the ice silkworm in the heavenly dragon, and the clam. The item level is from low to high. 9 rank, 8 rank, 7 rank, 6 rank, 5 rank, 4 rank, 3 rank, 2 rank, 1 rank, top rank, spirit tool, immortal item. The embroidered spring knife used by the protagonist at first was 8 rank, and items such as the Yishan sword and dragon knife were temporarily set as the best. To put it simply, this cheat is a relatively old-fashioned setting. Prison locks people and extracts power. Recently, the big guy who reads light novels, the guy who wrote The Advancing City once again wrote the results of this setting. It still feels very hungry, so I also applied this golden finger. The big guy's book is beautiful, and I'm still chasing it. I don't know if there is any content that can't be posted. You can create a group privately. According to the criminal's crime level, ability, and the protagonist's participation in the capture, rewards are given. If the participation rate is less than 5%, the system will directly give a single reward, and the protagonist has no choice. Reaches 5%, you can choose one of many rewards. 10% choose 2, 20% choose 3, 40% choose 5, and 50% choose 6. Even if it reaches 100%, it is impossible to inherit all abilities, because in addition to participation, it is also the crime level of the prisoner that affects the reward. The crime level is the highest, with 100% participation, and it is not possible to inherit all the abilities of the prisoner, and a series of conditions need to be fulfilled. The ability that can be extracted at present, including internal force, this is the additional modification. Qi and blood, this is to increase the proficiency of external training methods, such as the perception of knife and boxing, which naturally increases the proficiency of sword or boxing. The inheritance of martial arts was a blank sheet of paper from the beginning. There is a big gap between learning and learning well. Inheriting a martial arts, it is equal to mathematics, just learned that 1 plus 1 is equal to this level. The increase in proficiency means that you have learned multiplication, equations, and high numbers from 1 plus 1. The current setting is like this. If there is an addition, it will be updated at any time. If you don't understand, you can comment and ask. The dark room, the antique decoration, the man in the mirror looks basically the same as the previous life, just a little bit thinner. Hey, fat guys are all potential stocks, so it looks good to lose weight. Rubbed his head a little, the man finally sorted out the chaotic memory. He passed through, not the kind of rebirth, and no one died because of him, but he was reincarnated and reincarnated. 20 years ago, he was a rabbit of a flower grower. College degree, no car or house. Because of negligence in body management, he was a teenager until his death. Because of the age, he does not want to recall the specific reasons of crossing. It may be a sudden death while surfing the internet, it may be a job exhaustion, or it may be that it was a dark and windy night without restraint and died in his own hands. Just today, he almost died on his own hands again, and the memory of his previous life was awakened. There is nothing wrong with it. After all, he has lived in this world for 20 years, and the memory of his previous life is a past event for him. Mei Jin, this is his name in this life, probably because of the curse of the traveler. When he was 15 years old, there was a disaster in his family and his parents died on the way to fleeing famine. Hastily buried his parents. After being displaced for more than 2 years, a man who claimed to be his uncle found him among the beggars, which ended his days of exile. His uncle is a big man, and arranged for him to work in the capital. Yiwei of the Great Yan Dynasty, a small official title, is responsible for the daily patrol and public order maintenance of the jail. Because of his uncle's face, he can't do the dirty work, so he can go to the cell and pretend to be in a circle every day. And this work is a lot of oil and water. Those who usually come to visit the prison, help the prisoners to manage their affairs, and those who sneak over and see people in their cloaks at night, inevitably need some money. Because of his uncle, he shared a big head. Inside and outside together, he gets at least 100 taels of cash each month. I am a proper high-income group, don't buy a house and land easily in Beijing. Bang bang bang. A knock on the door suddenly sounded, interrupting Mei Jin's thoughts. Master Mei, a group of prisoners are being taken into custody today. They will be here soon. Mr. Lu will call you over. I see, I'll go right away. After finishing the flying fish suit skillfully, picking up the embroidered spring knife, Mei Jin quickly entered the state. At this time, there was already a row of brocade guards standing at the gate of the prison. Mei Jin smoothly mixed to the back of the team. About a moment, a group of people came in the distance. There are about 10 in number, all dressed as bald monks. There is only one person in charge of the escort, with a cold appearance and a mustache. The most striking thing is the black iron box on his back. Isn't that Master Qing Long? How can he the prisoners himself? The commander personally escorted the prisoner. It seems that the prisoner this time is not easy. You don't know this, they are all disciples of the Blood Blade. Blood Knife Gate? Didn't they always move outside the customs? How come they came to the capital? Who knows, but they are unlucky when they encounter the Qinglongsima. The 4 King Kongs of the Blood Knife Gate are directly folded 3 times, and the whole army of evil ghosts in 10 directions is wiped out. The hard hand in the door is considered to be a generation. Listening to the discussion, Mei Jin was not surprised. Dian Dynasty, Jin Yiwei has 4 commanders. There are 2 gods of Zuj and Taidan in the dynasty. The second East and West factory has 2 major factories, Cao and Wei. There are 6 doors and catching gods, Jin Zhuling and his like. Outside the dynasty, the nations are struggling, and Ahu, Dali, and Tubo are facing each other in a distance, which is very tight. The family Chabal was also in chaos, and wars continued. Wudang Shaolin on the rivers and lakes competed against each other, moving the Flower Palace and the Sun Moon God sect to separate one side. Sahang Jingzai and the Yingkui faction have fought each other for many years. Ming Jiao gathered a crowd of rashers to fight everywhere. Tsing Yilu, Black Rock, and other killer organizations are even more ubiquitous. This is a world of martial arts chowder, and the whole world is chaotic into a pot of porridge. Jin Yiwei Qinglong single brushed the blood knife door is a ready-made liezi. This group of monks did not know why they came to the Central Plains, stalking their lives all the way, committing adultery and looting. Did not wait until De Yunzi and his ilk, but met Qinglong. Jin Yiwei Qinglong is also regarded as the world's first-rate master. It can only be said that they are unlucky. The transfer of prisoners is very simple. Qinglong sent the people and left. Mei Jin, they are mainly responsible for registering and arranging cells. By the way, they tortured their purpose of entering Beijing. Mei Jin was watching the crowds busy, and there was no wave in his heart. Martial arts? Miraculous? Arena? Forget it soon. No gold fingers, no adventures, no martial arts practice, even the so-called master, counting the Qinglong just now, he has met a few people. At this age, it must be too late to practice the exercises on his own. Let him become a protagonist as an ordinary person. He doesn't have that ability. What kind of dreams are too far away? Crossing is not necessarily the protagonist. Since he was destined to be an ordinary person, he also accepted his fate. In the jail, he goes to work and clocks in. He spends his days in a mess, earning 100 taels of silver a month to make ends meet. He doesn't choose to eat or drink. On weekdays, abalone, lobster, and other coarse tea and light rice are just fine, and when you receive your salary every month, you can improve your food and save some money. After a few years of work, he bought more than a dozen properties in Beijing, and then bought dozens of beautiful maids to chat with him to relieve his boredom. This ordinary life passed. Xiao Mei, Xiao Mei. Several calls brought Mei Jin back to reality, and quickly wiped the corners of his mouth. Wearing Fame is his boss, Lu Jian Xing. Master Lu, what's your order? The prisoners are familiar and there are a large number of them, so it is not easy to be detained together. You can choose 5 and press them to Ding Ai or Bingju. Remember to separate them. Under the authority to take orders. The world's masters are like clouds, and knights are forbidden by martial arts. In order to imprison those prisoners with high martial arts skills, the dynasty hired skilled craftsmen from all over the world to build a huge prison. Sky Prison means the world's first prison. Is coordinated and managed by law enforcement agencies such as Yiwei and 6 Doors. At the same time, the prisoners were ranked according to factors such as the identity of the prisoner, the strength of martial arts, and the degree of danger. Different cells are also used to detain criminals of different levels of danger. UU reading www.uuganshu.com. The cell is divided into 4 areas, A, B, C, D, and each has 9 floors. The more floors there are, the more dangerous the prisoners are. The whole cell is a circular structure, with the outermost area D and the innermost area C, and both areas A and B are underground. Mei Jin's daily work is mainly concentrated on the periphery. I haven't been to the A and B districts. And the more you go in, the more depressing the atmosphere. After Dingwu, there is no sunlight at all, and it is only illuminated by candlelight. There are masters on each floor to prevent unrest. As soon as Dingju arrived, a flattering voice rang. Master Mei. How can you me personally, let me come. Came from 100 households, but his name was Mei Jin, a small banner lord. Mei Jin is not surprised, he is used to it, after all, he has a good uncle. Mei Jin is also willing to chat with this kind of people, after all, talking is really nice. Mei Jin chatted with him, while the jailer led the prisoners to divide the room, everything was in order. The first prisoner had already entered the cell, the moment the cell door closed. Mei Jin's right eyelid twitched instinctively, and a light curtain appeared before his eyes. Target Wang Wei /Bei, Fa name, /Liang Shangfijan, nickname, identity 8 generations of disciples of the Blood Sword sect, flower thief, horse thief. Repair for external Chi realm warrior karma Cao can human life, small theft, fornication, predation, Cao can human life, wolf-hearted, conscientious, crazy, sinful, status detention participation 2% reward internal power +1, Yunkai realm 1/100, Mei Jin did not speak, but the hand holding the knife was shaking slightly. Mei Jin, who has read online articles, naturally knows what happened. He has awakened the system. And the effect and usage of the system flooded his mind in an instant. To put it simply, Mei Jin can see anyone's panel in the future. Various information about the target can be learned through the panel, including the level of crime. And as long as Mei Jin puts the target in prison, he can inherit some abilities from the target. Can be talent, martial arts, piano, chess, calligraphy, and other skills. There are 3 factors that affect the amount of reward. One is the participation in the capture. The higher the degree of participation, the more benefits Mei Jin will get. For example, this time, he was only responsible for imprisoning the other party, so he could only inherit a small amount of cultivation skills from the other party. And if he participates in the arrest all the way, then he will get even more benefits. The second is the crime level of the offender. The worse the criminal, the more evil he commits, the more reward he gets. The third is the personal abilities of criminals. The stronger the criminal ability, the more Meijin gets. After all, the reward is given in proportion, and the larger the base, the greater the reward. Forget the arrest of the prisoner, whoever I can fight now, for the time being, I can only the prisoner to barely maintain a living. Looking around, this dark actually gave him a feeling of home, which can only be described as being at home. At this time the jailer had just opened the other 2 prison doors. Meijin dashed up. "Let me come." 5 prisoners, except for the first one, the remaining 4 were detained by Meijin. Includes registration, filing, distribution of daily necessities, arranging cells, opening and locking doors. Basically every process Meijin has done by himself. Made the jailer and Jin Yiwei on the side dumbfounded. Even if this is still not enough, Meijin trot all the way to Lug unseen, took the initiative to stop the work of all the other prisoners, and then gave up. After busying, everything is fine. For an hour, Meijin was busy. The seemingly simple detention work, the real details to every link are simply trivial. Especially filing, stamping, recording, and other links, it almost collapsed Meijin. But fortunately, this is all rewarding. Reward blood knife technique, human grade unparalleled product, reward knife comprehension +9, reward internal strength +4, Yunkai realm 5/100, reward internal strength +3, enchantment realm 8/100, reward swordsmanship perception +7, reward swordsmanship perception +4. Looking at the harvest of the day and feeling the breath of the Danshan place, Meijin squeezed his fist slightly, extremely excited. He has long since missed the age of martial arts. Except for the anti-heaven exercises in the biography, I can say that I have no connection with Kung Fu in this life. Looking for a sense of Qi, slowly warming up, and condensing internal Qi, this step often requires starting with a doll to lay the foundation. This system directly saved him a few years of hard work. In addition to his skill, he also got a martial arts of human rank. There are 4 levels of martial arts in this world: heaven, earth, human, and foundation. Among the 3rd ranks of heaven, earth, and humans, each rank is divided into top, middle and lower ranks, with the highest exquisite rank and the lowest rank. You need to know that the sword technique taught by Jin Yiwei is only basic martial arts, not in the rank. If you want to learn advanced martial arts, you have to be promoted. This outstanding human-level swordsmanship is definitely considered high quality, and it is more than enough to set up sects on the rivers and lakes. However, Meijin's water products at this time have only been learned, and they have no combat effectiveness at all. It's like kids in kindergarten and scientists know mathematics, but the difference in water quality is simply hard to measure. If he fights people with a knife now, he might accidentally chop himself. But the perception of knife skills solves this problem. Can be used directly to improve the water quality of one's own knife skills. Meijin added the blood knife technique without saying anything, and all kinds of understanding and enlightenment came to his heart, as if he had gained years of experience in knife practice out of thin air, and his mastery of the blood knife technique instantly improved a lot. Feeling his own improvement, Meijin's heart is hot. You need to know that this is just his harvest in one day. The prison does not know how many prisoners are housed every day, and how many arena among them. Doesn't need him to arrest people, and every day you can get all kinds of benefits with just a white prostitute. Tianjia, this is really a good place. Inside the cell, Meijin was locking the door, and the light curtain appeared in the next second. Target Li Sanyu, an identity money gangster head repair for external Qi realm warrior karma rape and rape status detention participation 7%. A reward can be selected internal force +3, Tang Glankan, lower grade of human rank, fist perception +4, vitality +6. According to the participation in the arrest, Meijin's right to choose has also been improved. The participation rate is less than 5%, and the system will only give a single reward. Most of them are internal strength, energy, blood, and luck. Feeling, and more than 5%, the reward becomes a choice. After a little consideration, Mei Jin chose qi and blood. Xiao Mei, this is the last prisoner today. Lu Jianxing sighed with relief. In the past 6 months, Mei Jin seemed to be convulsed, taking all the detention work on the periphery of the prison to himself. Bulun is a major offender or a minor offender, or martial arts level. As long as you enter the jail, you don't want to escape Mei Jin's clutches. Although it is strange, everyone does not stop it. After all, some people are rushing to do all the work, and it is too late for them to be happy. As a boss, his subordinates are naturally happy to be diligent and motivated, but they are also a little annoying when they are happy. Who can bear it if he pesters him every day to be a prisoner? Looking at Lu Jianxing, Mei Jin nodded helplessly. I know Master Lu, I will come again tomorrow. But at this moment, Lu Jianxing threw a document from Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. A felon was arrested by 6 doors half a month ago. These days, they interrogate day and night, and count the days. It's time to the prisoner to jail. You will come with me tomorrow. The laws of the Great Yan dynasty are strict. After the prisoners are arrested, they can be tried first and then detained. However, there is a time limit, up to half a month. If there is an agency that exceeds the time, Jin Yiwei will be responsible for visiting the important person. Said it was important, but in fact it was also gun skills. After all, the value of the prisoner belongs to whoever is in his hands. If you want to ask for a review later, you will have to face the responsible process and application. At this point, the credit will inevitably be shared by Jin Yiwei, Dongcheng and other institutions. If you want to take the credit alone, you can only wipe out the prisoner within half a month of catching the prisoner, otherwise you will have to face the division of credit. But the prisoners who can be interrogated by 6 doors for half a month are naturally not ordinary. Zongqi, what is the rank of the prisoner this time? Lu Jianxing slowly stretched out 3 fingers. Preliminary characterization, Yisan. Mei Jin almost didn't call out. The highest-ranking prisoner he has encountered since joining Jin Yiwei is only a third. Since he awakened the system, there have been very few level prisoners. It's not that he doesn't want to contact, it's that his level is too low. Jin Yiwei Zioki is only in charge of the cell in District D. If it were not because he had a good uncle, he would not be able to enter the cell in District C. It's not too surprising to be directly responsible for the second-class prisoners this time. But immediately, Mei Jin felt strange for a while. Criminals such as Y are generally eligible for only if they are hundreds or thousands of households. Lu Jianxing is no more than the general banner, so why is it his turn to do it? Master Lu, who else will go with you tomorrow? There is no one else, just you and me. At present, Jin Yiwei is short of manpower. Besides, it is not new to run errands and raise people. Yes, it's normal to help your boss run errands. In institutions like Jin Yiwei, being squeezed by your boss is nothing more than normal. But this time is different. This time the prisoner is a third-grade prisoner. According to regulations, prisoners of this level need at least 200 households and 6 general escorts. This and their lineup are missing Grandma's house. And the most wrong thing is not other people, but Mei Jin himself. You know, others don't know that Mei Jin has awakened Goldfinger. From the perspective of the people around, Mei Jin has nothing to do except having a good uncle. A blank sheet of martial arts, a Jin Yiwei who has been systematically trained does not need 2 tricks. Asking him and Lu Jianxing to a second-class prisoner, not only will not help, but will also become a burden. In the face of danger, if Lu Jianxing's survival rate alone is 90%, he will directly drop to 30%. Unless Lu Jianxing doesn't care about Mei Jin running away, he will be dead in danger. And Lu Jianxing's character is too upright, and his sense of justice is overwhelming. It is more uncomfortable than killing him to let a person like him abandon his colleagues and go on his own. And if something happened to Mei Jin, Lu Jianxing would be fine. If he didn't die, Uncle Meijin would naturally take him out and retaliate wildly. It can be said that Lu Jianxing is dead and has no livelihood at all. After brainstorming for a while, Meijin smiled helplessly. Would you like to brainstorm so much? It's just a simple task. Where are so many conspiracy theories? Meijin feels that he has been persecuted with delusions. Farewell to Lu Jianxing, the prison where Meijin left. During the Great Yan dynasty, there were official residences above Jin Yiwei's small banner, and Meijin went to work in Tianjiao every day. His residence was very close, on Baomen Street in Nanjing. Meijin has a good uncle, so naturally he doesn't have to squeeze the shop with others. He directly enjoys a small house with 3 inputs and 3 outputs, and the treatment is equivalent to that of the solicitor of the 4th Pin town. There are 5 internal organs in the house, there are 2 clerks, 1 cook. As soon as I got home, I saw the cook cleaning a large lobster in the yard. It looked at least 5 kilograms in size. Ignoring the servant, Meijin went straight back to the room. After a while, I saw a pigeon flying out of Meijin's room. In the room, Meijin stood in a daze at the window. Although he feels that he is persecution delusional, but be careful to make Wanyan ship, the homing pigeon is his successor. Hey, if you can, I really don't want to be old. That's right, he moved his rescuer. If anyone in the world can him, it's his cheap uncle. I hope it's just that I think too much. The next moment, the light curtain appears as you like. Name Meijin age 20 identity Jin Yiwei, small flag, boundary gathering and chi boundary, 988/1000 heart law no external training iron cloth shirt, first glimpse of the doorway 365/400 fists and feet no light work no weapons blade blood knife technique, a first look at the path 393/400 item embroidered spring knife, 8 products. This is the harvest of Meijin in the past 6 months. First of all, the cultivation base, the distance breakthrough is a little bit short of internal strength. Is not a master at all, but he also has the most basic self-preservation power, and finally he is not the bottom of the Jin Yiwei. Next is the iron cloth shirt, which Meijin obtained from a Shaolin lay disciple, and it is also a human-level masterpiece. It takes energy and blood to upgrade. Thanks to the system, Meijin has already broken through the first stage. In the end, it was the blood knife technique, which was just a short shot and was about to break through. In terms of the number of martial arts, there is one more iron cloth shirt than half a year ago, and the rest of martial arts can be said to be unlearned. But Meijin knew very well in his heart that martial arts was not good enough. In the past 6 months, he naturally has the conditions to learn a little bit of ordinary internal skills or light skills, but Meijin is very energetic, he doesn't like the common internal skills, and in martial arts, he does not consider it at all. Instead of learning a bunch of junk martial arts, it is better to upgrade the existing martial arts to a higher level. The blood sword master attack, the iron cloth shirt master defense, these 2 martial arts of human rank have 1 offense and 1 defense, which is enough. Tomorrow's action is full of weirdness. If something really happens, the biggest variable will be on me. Just in case, I still have to improve my performance. I saw Meijin picked up the Zihu Chun knife and walked out. On weekdays, he has never taken the initiative to arrest anyone, but tonight, he will take the initiative to level up. This night, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com missed 3 people in Beijing. The scrub master at Chengdong Bathing Hall, the widow Lu from Nanmen Hutong, and the blind beggar begging at Keishakao. 3 people who have no intersection, but disappeared on the same night. The only thing in common is their age, they are all over 70. The next day, Meijin came to the jail early. Just after the hour, he and Lu Jianxing went to the 6 doors at once. I heard that 3 fugitives were arrested last night, they were knocked out and thrown at the gate of the jail, and they had their own crimes. One is the one-eyed black bear from the Green Forest gangster 40 years ago, the other is Wu Aman, the flower-picking thieves 30 years ago, and the other is a human trafficker known as the Evil Lady. Oh! After so many years, I didn't expect them to be able to succumb to Zhou. The law is really strong. Liu Jianxing nodded when he heard the words. They are hidden in the market, plus their age. If it weren't for someone secretly helping out this time, I'm afraid it would be difficult to punish them. Mei Jin just nodded when he heard the words, and did not speak. He didn't reveal that he did it by himself. After all, his current character does not know martial arts, so it would be bad if he was alerted by the opponent. The two chatted all the way, and soon they reached 6 stores. As a law enforcement agency, 6 stores are responsible for more functions than Yiwei, ranging from fights to large-scale killings, all of which belong to their scope of responsibility. Because it is closer to the people's livelihood, it is set up in a densely populated city. Did not encounter any difficulties, nor did he encounter some legendary characters, that is, ordinary handover prisoners. Everything went so smoothly. For a moment, Mei Jin almost felt that he was thinking too much, until he saw the prisoner being escorted. Target Gongsun Oolong. Target Gongsun Oolong Identity Sunflower Pie Master Cultivation True Chi Realm Warrior Karma Worried Status Freedom, Minor Injury. In the 6th-door cell, an old man with grey hair and a kind complexion squatted silently in the corner. A few catchers with knives around are going to watch together. Liu Jianxing is still going through the process, holding various documents for registration and stamping. And Mei Jin pretended to be calm, looking at the busy people. Gongsun Oolong, the name he is too familiar with, Sunflower Acupuncture Hand is also the mantra of his and his peers. In the original setting, this person is a top master in martial arts. One-handed sunflower acupuncture has been fascinated, no need to touch, 10 meters apart, you can tap acupuncture points with penetrating force, which is impossible to prevent. There are very few people who can fight against it in the original work. And what shocked Mei Jin most was his state at the moment. You know, prisoners above grade C, who have a bit of martial arts, will be specially equipped with a special Kimenfenki lock. There are more than a dozen silver needles in the lock, which are specially designed for Yunggong. Bad luck, like a waste. While Gongsun Oolong is clearly under the shackles, but the status column actually shows freedom. Even if you are a fool, you can see that something is wrong at this time. By the way, it's the turtle shell magic. He still remembered that Gongsun Oolong had a magical skill called turtle shell, which originated from the Taoist sea turtles. Using this skill can prevent all A-cup ointment kung fu from being targeted. This strange lock of acupuncture points is useless to him. Damn, it seems to be right, I was cheated this time, although the target is not me. What is the concept of a master of true chi state? You must know that after a night of training, Mei Jin is just outside chi state at this time. Liu Jianxing is more than 40 years old, and he is only in the Gang Chi realm at this time. In Yiwei, the Zhen Chi realm is basically 100 households and thousands of households, and he is also sitting inside the 6 doors. Put on the martial arts, he can be the head of the little school. Such a master, 10 more Liu Jianxing can't suppress it. Mei Jin is not considered to be fighting strength in front of him. And as long as there are more than a dozen places in the middle of the jail with 6 doors, you will not be able to escape at that time. According to the plan of the Black Hand behind the scenes, Mei Jin and the others took the prisoner away. The prisoner had an attack midway. Liu Jianxing had either just finished playing with Gongsun Oolong or slipped away by himself, and then Mei Jin's uncle let him finish the game. Mei Jin, no matter what, is a victim, and ends in a dead end. Mei Jin didn't want to be involved in other people's grievances, but somehow he was treated as a pawn. But why should I follow your plan? I saw Mei Jin smiled and walked up to a guard to catch him. This eldest brother, the 6 doors are worthy of the gathering place of Jingmen masters, look at your eyes, I am afraid that they are not the masters of Genkai. Seeing Mei Jin smiled, the arrest seemed inexplicable, but he also replied. The four of us are average in martial arts, but we are at the level of our spirits, so where's our eyes gleaming? Oh! I see a few Qi Yu Swanang, although they are only in the Gangqi realm, but they have a strong demeanor. I am afraid that they will have the power to fight against a real Qi realm master. These arresters are not young, and they are not as tall as Mei Jin, so they are not considered to be Yu Swanang, but they are always happy to be flattered. Don't dare to be, how can we compare to the true Qi realm masters? It would be good if we can support a dozen moves in total. Hearing the words, Mei Jin's eyes lit up. Oh, if you don't know what the cell boss is, how can you support it? Mei Jin pointed at the person who was handing over with Liu Jianxing on the side, caught a quick glance and said. The head of the cell is 5 years older than me, but his martial arts is a lot higher. In the early years, he was also a catcher among the 6 doors. With a few of us, it shouldn't be difficult to last a quarter of an hour. Mei Jin's eyes are brighter when he hears this. Walked aside in silence. At this time, he was less than 2 meters away from Gongsun Wolong. Is separated from the arrestor just now, and Liu Jianxing and the cell boss are on the side, facing the exit. If he escapes, he must be the fastest one. His face suddenly changed, he drew out the treasured sword from his waist, pointed it at Gongsun Wolong's head and threw it out. This knife used 10% of its strength. A blood spatter in the blood knife technique was directly used on the spot, which was dangerous. Abnormal. If Gongsun Wolong cannot use martial arts, he can't avoid it anyway, unless he is willing to bear it. But unfortunately, he didn't have that plan. Mei Jin's move suddenly made an attack, and no one responded, and the angle he chose was so tricky that most people couldn't hide it at all. But Gongsun Wolong is not an ordinary person. He raised his hands, merged his fingers, and pointed out with force, hitting the Zihu-chun knife. Hearing Wang's sound, the Zihu-chun Dao stretched its waist and flew to the sides beside Gongsun Wolong and plunged into the wall. These series of operations were between the electric light and flint, and no one reacted. Look at the culprit who threw the knife again, where is his figure? He was pulling Liu Jianxing away as early as the moment he threw the knife. In the next instant, a shout came out. Come here, Gongsun Wolong has escaped from prison, Gongsun Wolong has escaped from prison. The few people in the field were taken aback for a moment, and then they didn't talk nonsense and fought together. Outside the field, Mei Jin pulled Liu Jianxing and screamed all the way. Liu Jianxing beside hasn't even figured out what happened. It's the 6 doors and a crowd of big and small catchers have already begun to gather, and there is a riot in the 6 doors of Niudai. Xiaomei, how come back? Before Liu Jianxing finished speaking, a figure flew from a distance and bumped to the side. Although he would not die, he still vomited blood with a masked face. Looking at the door of the prison, Gongsun Oolong was already disheveled, and he had several stab wounds on his body, and his face was hideous. The hunters around him soon saw it, and their good professionalism drove their instincts, and they surrounded them one after another, fighting against the trapped beasts. Mei Jin and Liu Jianxing, who looked dazed, were watching the battle. You reading www.youkansha.com. There is no need for Mei Jin to explain anything at this time. The prisoner who was about to be handed over showed power that was more powerful than any words, and Liu Jianxing could see something even if he was stupid at this time. In the field, several Jin Yiwei had been spotted on the acupuncture points and could not move. Is a little bit more powerful, but it is only inconvenient to move, some lower limbs are stiff, some hands are numb. And the worst is probably Gongsun Oolong in the middle. He is very depressed. He used to be fooled by the magic of the tortoise shell and completed his mission by killing a small character on the way. Who would have thought that the disguise that he was proud of was dismantled in an instant for some reason, and was attacked by a group of 6 doors before he even got out. And his best acupuncture point is also fearful. If it is Oneo none, people below the real Qi state can hit the opponent's death point in a minute. Even if the real Qi state master comes, his own Kung Fu is also suitable for wandering, and he can retreat at any time. But now the 6 gates are almost all on duty. The opponent is crowded and powerful, and the skill is not weak. The ants often kill the elephants. It takes a lot of effort to dodge, and it is impossible to recruit to the dead. If you joke up and fight for a long time, you can only limit the opponent's actions at most, and the lethality is really not displayed. The people with 6 doors are mostly trained, and the combined attack technique is also impossible to prevent. He just hit one of them, and he was pulled away before he waited for the killer, and someone immediately filled the vacancy. Fights for a long time, but he didn't break through a gap, and he suffered several stab wounds himself. Mei Jin sighed when he saw this. This is the end of the hard control team alone. As time passed, Gongsun Wolong gradually became exhausted. After all, he was only one person. The tactics of facing the crowd of 6 doors could only be in the waiting stage. In the middle, Lu Jianxing wanted to step forward to help, but was held back by Mei Jin. What a joke, this act of digging holes for Lu Jianxing, there must be the shadow of Jin Yiwei in it. Although it is not possible for the whole Jin Yiwei to deliberately pit a general flag, there is definitely someone who is not clean. And as a Jin Yiwei, his position is naturally opposed to the 6 doors. Everyone is a law enforcement agency, and there are many overlaps in their functions. They compete with each other on weekdays, otherwise, why bother to do this big show? The matter itself is very simple. Gongsun Wolong has colluded with the people, but he will not collude with the entire 6 doors. At that time, Mei Jin only had to poke the matter up, and it would be resolved naturally. After all, there is still normal in the 6 doors. Official. However, the reason why he didn't do this is because he pitted 6 doors. Like now, a true Qi realm master lost control in the 6 doors, affecting a large number of manpower. At this time, he will definitely be a talker in the court tomorrow. And the man behind the scenes who tried to collude with the 6 doors in order to deal with Lu Jianxing will inevitably become the ultimate target. In order to find out the truth, the 6-door senior had to pinch his nose and act as a thug for Mei Jin. In the field, Gongsun Wolong's true energy was exhausted, his body was bleeding from numerous stab wounds, and he couldn't stand still, and he was obviously exhausted. Upon seeing this, the corners of Mei Jin's mouth evoked. It's time. I saw Mei Jin stepping forward slowly, bypassing the 6 gates, and gradually approaching from behind Gongsun Wolong. Gongsun Wolong was in a trance at this time, ignoring his head, and did not find Mei Jin at all. However, I only heard the sound of bang. A scabbard came into close contact with the back of Gongsun Wolong's head, and that special hardwood scabbard was stretched into 2 directly, showing how much effort was used. Ordinary people are bound to die after this blow. Gongsun Wolong instantly lost his balance and was pressed to the ground by Mei Jin, unable to move. Come on, lock, lock. Soon, the brand new Kimen Erzeling lock was affixed to Gongsun Wolong's body, just like putting on a new vest. Vaguely, I could still hear Gongsun Wolong's faint words. No. Do not speak martial arts, attack me. 70-year-old comrade. Before he could finish speaking, Mei Jin Zhao's mouth made him feel bored. 5 or 6 teeth went in instantly with blood. But at this moment, the distant crowd was pushed aside, and a head catcher came forward. This man looks 25 and 66. He is very handsome. He is clearly dressed up for catching his head, but he is holding a paper fan. The most inconsistent thing is his clothes. Compared with the surrounding catchers, it's too new. The materials don't look like uniforms, but they are hand-sewn with expensive fabrics, which is very luxurious. He didn't come forward, but directly exploded. Come here, take the prisoner to jail, I want to interrogate myself. Both Lu Jianxing and Mei Jin frowned. They themselves came today to detain the prisoner. The prisoner temporarily lost control and was finally able to subdue him. According to the rules, they should be taken away by their Jin Yiwei and escorted to the prison instead of being buckled by 6 doors down. But the catchers around don't think so. Today, I'm embarrassed. My prisoner fled in his cell and wounded more than a dozen catchers. The price is unimaginable. The majesty of the 6 doors, the right to speak in the court, and the use of hostile parties, it is difficult to list all kinds of bad influences for a while. If Jin Yiwei takes the people away again, this time he will really lose his money. With so many people and paying so much price, how could it be possible to make wedding dresses for others? Seeing that the people around him had already surrounded him, Lu Jianxing yelled secretly, and just wanted to touch the knife. Hey? Where's my knife? But Mei Jin, who was on the side, had already drawn a long knife from his waist. Who the dare I see? Finally came across a second-class prisoner, he was still waiting to cut the leeks. How could he cut the beard of these people, even though he cut the beard first? Lu Jianxing's mouth twitched slightly, but he also took a step forward and stood in front of Mei Jin. As the boss and the Jin Yiwei, he could not retreat. The head catcher headed across from the other side showed a sneer. Do you want to rebel, dare to defend the imperial invasion and prevent the palace from handling the case? Do you know whose side this is? Lu Jianxing bit his head and said. My lord misunderstood, I will be responsible for taking this prisoner to the jail. I saw the opponent's brows tightened. You guys who dare to grab 6 doors? Lu Jianxing was stupid and couldn't answer for a while, but Mei Jin was not the one who suffered. No, right? It's Polly you when you rhyme? This prisoner belongs to Jin Yiwei, and every document file is recorded. How can he become your 6-door person? The atmosphere dropped to freezing point in an instant, the anger of the people around seemed to be real, and there were still people who wanted to say something, but they couldn't hold back a word for a long time. And Lu Jianxing thought for a long time but only said a word. He was right. The scene froze in an instant. Mei Jin and the others had no problems with the procedure, but the 6 doors just couldn't swallow the breath, and the 2 sides didn't let anyone else for a while. However, seeing the 6 doors headed by the catcher stepping forward slowly, he walked to the side of Lu Jianxing. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Although Lu Jianxing was blocking, but the other person looked at Mei Jin. You are Mei Jin, there's nothing good for young Master Mei, eat and wait to die cao ear ye. Mei Jin rolled his eyes, these 2 sentences are rumors and introductions to him from outside. Before he awakened his memory, he was useless, and he was not good at all. But relying on his uncle Menjian, he got a lucrative official position, which naturally attracted people's envy. Da is not worthy, walks through the back door, and asks for a relationship. This limerick spreads outside. This kind of thing is nothing new in the eyes of high-ranking people, but it is easy to spread to the mouth of the grassroots employees. According to the truth, Mei Jin has come out of Jin Yiwei, and his reputation is not small. Of course it is not a good reputation. Ignoring the opponent's provocation, Mei Jin cares about another thing. How does he know who he is? Even if he is notorious, how does he know his appearance? The other party naturally didn't know the xiaojiju in Mei Jin's heart, and said to himself. This person, you can take it away, but you have to give an account to the dozens of brothers who were injured in 6 doors. I saw him and pointed his fingers into his palms, a stream of pure to the extreme, thick and substantive internal energy coming out of the opponent, and the people around him were instantly turned on their backs by the blower. Lu Jianxing and Mei Jin worked together to support, but they also backed a dozen steps. Seeing that the other party was about to slap Gongsu Nulong to death, Mei Jin suddenly grinned. Dog thief, grab my head. Only Mei Jin's body was undulating in the breeze, and the weak inner breath was wrapped around the knife with his wrist, emitting a faint red light. The muscles on agitated, making him a strong step forward. The results of his sneak attack on 3 70-year-olds last night to level up were revealed at this moment. Chapter 6 Jiggy Outer Air Realm, inner breath can come out through the body, hurting people invisible, attack increased by 100%, defense increased by 100%, blood volume increased by 100%, total internal energy increased by 100%. Iron cloth shirt, the realm is slightly improved, strength increased by 10%, endurance increased by 10%, burst increased by 10%, passive defense increased by 20%, active defense increased by 200%. Blood knife sword technique, the realm is slightly small, the damage is increased by 20%, and the consumption is reduced by 10%. Awakening special skill bloodthirsty knife. Fully infused with a sword, the damage is increased by 100%, and it can only be used once a day. Almost instantly, Meijin resorted to what he had learned in his life. The iron cloth shirt resisted the opponent's true energy and wind pressure, and the bloodthirsty blow broke out the strongest attack. I saw a light red knife coming out smoothly, galloping towards the opponent's forehead. So courageous! I saw the opponent's palm undiminished, but changed direction. With a sound, the palm of the flesh and the knife crossed, and waves of air burst out in all directions. One side is doing his best without leaving any room, and the other side is suddenly dealing with things in a panic. At this moment, the gap in skill is infinitely flattened by this move. The sword moves quickly, goes quickly, and disperses quickly. If you can't defeat the enemy with one blow, you will immediately be unable to follow up. The sword chi dissipated, the chi wave subsided, and everything happened in an instant. But what happened was beyond everyone's expectations. Meijin has collapsed, panting, but has a happy expression on his face. Liu Jianxing supported Meijin, already receiving the knife in his hand. The other party has a cruel face and a smile at the corners of his mouth, as if to choose someone to eat. Looking at the opponent's palm, Meijin was a little disappointed. His full blow failed to hurt the opponent. Seems to see Meijin's mind, Liu Jianxing grinned. Boy, you can see clearly, his sleeves. Meijin looked at it, but the other party's cuff had already been cut off smoothly, and most of his arm was leaking out. Ha ha ha, cough. Oh, I won this time. Meijin laughed loudly, the other's face was even colder, but he didn't refute. Judging from the result, he did lose. Meijin was not hurt, but he was cut off. One move, one round, this is only one move, he lost. Lost very thoroughly, lost to a waste, lost to a weaker 2 levels younger than him, under the witness of his colleagues and subordinates, he died instantly. The next moment, the soaring internal breath exploded, more terrifying than the previous one, and the specially made blue stone floor under the opponent's feet had cracked and shattered. The opponent is already ready to attack, and his face shows a bit of madness. Looking for death. The words were closed, the other party was already close, so fast that Meijin didn't respond. However, facing the approaching danger, Meijin not only didn't feel scared, but also showed a sly smile. Just before he took the knife and slashed the opponent, he already saw a familiar figure appear in the distance. With him, Meijin believes that there will be no accident. It is not surprising, the next moment, dozens of feather arrows burst into the air. The speed is incredible. More weird than speed is not speed, but their angle. These arrows all shot in different directions at the beginning, but when they approached the target, they turned around unexpectedly. 10 arrows are like self-guided missiles, blocking all the opponent's retreat in all directions, and all dead spots are not let go. If he desperately gives Meijin a shot, he will inevitably have a few holes in his body. But obviously, the other party doesn't have this courage. I saw the other party suddenly close their hands, waving both legs and hands at the same time, like a spinning top in the air. The jingle bell sounded, and the flying arrows were knocked down one by one. Cao Shaokan, do you people in the East Factory only hurt people with secret arrows? Hey, not as good as Lord Jin Juling, you openly attacked the court commander and kidnapped the prisoners. Lord Jin, are your 6 doors going upside down? The vocalist stood in the distance with a hard bow in his hand. It seemed that he was young, but his temples were already slightly whitish. Although he was dressed up as a father-in-law, his voice was not feminine, and there was a group of Dongchang flags around him. The person here is not someone else, it is Mei Jin's nominal righteous brother, his uncle's righteous son, Dongchang Daidong, Cao Shaoqing. Because the outside world compares him to his uncle's successor, some people call him the young governor. Yesterday, Mei Jin felt that something was not good, so Fei Jie passed a book overnight and told his uncle to shake people. Unexpectedly, he shook Cao Shaoqin directly, which even Mei Jin was a little surprised. The big stall in Dongchang, the second master in Dongchang, a figure in the arena who can compete with the elders of various martial arts sects, was sent by his uncle to support him. It's easy to say nothing, but his uncle loves him. From the conversation between them, Mei Jin also knew the identity of the head catcher in front of him, the six-door head catcher, Jin Zhuling. At this time, Cao Shaoqin and Jin Zhuling confronted each other, and everyone's attention was attracted. Mei Jin took Liu Jianxing and took the opportunity to come to Gongsun Hualong's side to prevent someone from robbing someone. Ignoring Mei Jin's small actions in secret, Jin Zhuling's mind is all on Cao Shaoqin. Only then did he simply fought against the opponent, although those arrows were blocked by him, but he also suffered a little loss. The strength and angle of those arrows were so tricky that they shook his hands faintly. Although he was at the door of his house today, he suffered a series of deficiencies. Only Mei Jin was caught off guard. He was angry and attacked. Cao Shaoqin attacked again. You reading www.youcanshu. The serial failure of calm has already made him under the control of others, and it is indeed not appropriate to fight again at this time. On the other side, Cao Shaoqin didn't care about Jin Zhuling, and led a group of Dongchang banners to surround Mei Jin and protect it in the middle. Xiao Mei, I haven't seen you for many days, but I can cause such troubles, and I have made progress. Hearing the words, Mei Jin could only respond with polite but awkward smile. His righteous brother has only met a few times in total. Although it is not annoying, Mei Jin feels that his eyes are always a bit wrong. Cao Shaoqin patted Mei Jin on the shoulder, then turned to look at Liu Jianxing on the side. Although the Kung Fu is complicated and solid, the people are not bad, let's get a 100 households brand tomorrow. Liu Jianxing was taken aback when he heard the words, and his heart was suddenly mixed. Thinking that his son inherited his father's career and became a Jinyi guardian, his biggest wish is to be 100 households, but he is rigid and unwilling to go with the crowd on certain things. This is a delay in the opportunity for promotion. Unexpectedly, this time is just a trip, so he just went straight. Promoted to 100 households, 2 consecutive upgrades, from 100 households to 100 households, the feeling in the middle is really complicated. My lord is serious, and the next official is only for his own duties, and this official position is just. Brother, I'm sorry to ask you to go, but my little brother is not good enough, so I am ashamed of my uncle. Mei Jin rushed to talk and interrupted Liu Jianxing. If Cao Shaoqin loses face today, he is afraid that this old brother will disappear tomorrow for no reason. Cao Shaoqin is not a good person, being polite to Mei Jin does not mean being polite to others. Seemed to see through Mei Jin's careful thoughts, Cao Shaoqin didn't care. Shui Weiqiao pointed Lanhua and pointed Mei Jin. Brother, don't worry, you are being bullied, Jiggy will vent your anger.